There we go. Hi, everyone. Hello. It is bedtime, but it is chat time. So we thought we'd just do a little chat from bed tonight. It was so cold and rainy here in New Jersey today. And it was just one of those nights where I actually had to turn the heat on in the house and get nice and cozy in my PJs and get under the covers. Hello. Here comes everybody. Hi. Hi. I see the reflection of my glasses because I'm getting ready for bed here and I just thought we would chat. This is a nice comfortable place to do this tonight, huh? Is everybody comfortable? Did you guys all get into your PJs and get nice and tucked in and comfy for our little chat tonight? I hope so. You guys are awesome. Every time I put up a post saying, hey, you got any questions? It's like, we got questions. So we're going to answer some questions tonight. Plus, everybody, here comes everybody. Hello. Yeah, it's Joe and I here. Joe's hanging out with me. Here, you want to see Joe? There he is. And so, yeah, we're just sitting here. And Lucky's here, too. Let's see if I can get Lucky in the picture. Hold on. Here, you want to see Lucky? There's Lucky.
Lucky.
Lucky. Hey, Lucky. He's sitting on the bed with us. Okay, yeah, because he was like, okay, I want up, I want in. Oh, yeah, you're in bed feeding the baby. Yes, I figured this would be a really good thing for all of us to do together, that you guys could get into bed with your babies and feed, and I can turn on my phone and answer your questions. So here we are. Yeah, so I'm looking at myself and my hair's a little different because I had some keratin done to my hair. So it's very, very straight, which I'm not used to. So this shouldn't last very long, but it's really straight. So I'm just looking at myself in the reflection here and I see myself. So, I just lost my place here on my, of course. No, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see. Oh my goodness, you guys are already asking questions. Yeah, they're already asking questions. All right, so tonight we'll answer some of your questions. Tonight we will answer some of the questions that have been on my wall waiting to be answered. And tonight I have a prize to give away for Earth Mama Angel Baby, who I love so much. It's one of my favorite brands of products. Totally safe, organic products for you and for your baby, for birth, for postpartum, for baby, for breastfeeding. We even use the soaps. I don't know if you guys have ever used the Earth Mama Angel Baby soaps. They're awesome, the Castile soaps. I love them. So I actually wash my face with it. It's just great to not have chemicals on your baby. So I love her stuff, and I love Mama Melinda, who makes all of those products. We've been friends for many years, and just one of my favorite brands to work with. So I have a prize, and we'll be giving it away to somebody on the chat. After the chat, we'll announce a winner. Okay, so all you have to do to enter is make sure you like or love this post. Okay, so make sure you do that, and then leave your comment. And what we'll do is we will randomly select somebody. We'll do Jamie's technique tonight, a random selection. Jamie told us how he randomly selects, how he closes his eyes and he scrolls up and down and then he just points. We'll do the same thing here in the chat room. So I thought that was really funny. We'll do that ourselves here. Okay. And you'll get to pick whichever bundle you want, whether it's baby, breastfeeding, birth, wherever you're at, you'll get what you want. Okay. I'll make sure of that. So, let's, and before we even get into this too, speaking of Earth Mama, I'm going to be, in a couple weeks, we were talking about this last week when Jamie was here. I'm going to be at ABC in Las Vegas in a couple weeks with Jamie and everybody from Evenflow. Actually, everyone in the industry goes to ABC, and I've been going for years and years. This year I'll be going with my phone and with Joe, and we'll be live streaming from the event, and I will actually be at the Earth Mama Angel Baby booth doing a live stream from there, and they have some awesome grand prizes that they're going to give away during my live stream. So I will definitely be announcing when that's going to be, exactly like what day, what time, so that you can make sure you put it on your calendar and that you're getting notifications from me so that you can log in and watch the live stream at the booth and hopefully win the grand prize. Yeah, we got hearts for that. We got hearts for that. You wish you could go? I know. It's a fun thing to do. It's a little tiring. Joe and I used to go, I mean, we've been going for like years, like 11, 12 years, because that was where we used to go to buy our products for our store. When we had a store, when we had the retail store, the birth boutique, for all pregnancy birthing products, we used to go there to buy our products because all the manufacturers are there. So now we just go to have fun and see all of our friends and check out all the cool stuff so that we can bring it to you. So yeah, we're excited to go and get away for a couple days too. It's nice. It's fun. It's actually a really fun time.
Heather's asking, does their diaper rash cream work?
Oh, you're asking about the Earth Mama diaper rash cream? Joe said Heather was asking about that. Their diaper rash cream is awesome, okay? It is awesome. It's completely organic. It has calendula in it. It has different herbs in it that are going to clear up your baby's butt like nothing I've seen. And on top of that, it's safe for cloth diapers too. So you can use it with your cloth diapers and it works great on your baby's bottom. Okay, it's not like really goopy or anything like that, but if you have any kind of baby has any kind of diaper rash, definitely go right for your Earth Mama. Okay, yeah, I love it. So if anybody else has used it, you can go ahead and post here. Let everyone know how great it was, because I've been using their stuff for forever, and I'm not kidding. Like literally, like I use their lotion on my face. I use the soap to wash my face. We're constantly using it, and the teas, all of it. So. Love it. Right, Joe? He knows.
Love it.
He knows. He knows. Okay, so.
I drink the monthly comfort.
Yes, Joe says he drinks the monthly comfort tea. He does, because he does need the monthly comfort tea.
Three women in the house.
What?
I said with 3 women in the house.
He needs some comfort sometimes, and more often than monthly. I love you too. I love you too, Samantha. She's saying I love you. I love you too. You're so sweet. You guys are the best. You guys are the best, really. I mean, that's why I do this, because it's so fun to be with all of you. It is so fun. So let's get to some questions here. I'm actually going to go to my wall and just go back a couple days to some of the questions that were being posted, because I know they're waiting for answers. And if you guys have any like pressing questions, you don't have to wait for me to announce a chat. You can put it right onto my wall so that it comes up first onto the chats on the very next chat. Okay, so I'm going to answer the question here. This one came in from Rachel. Okay, I don't know if Rachel's on with us, but if she's not, I will let her know that the question is here. She says, I have a 1.5-week-old, and over the last few days, she's been spitting up after most feedings. I'm feeding off one side per feeding. Should I feed her off one side for several feedings? I never had a problem with spitting up with my last baby. Okay, so feeding off of one side is a really good idea, and you don't have to do that for several feedings. I would definitely alternate sides from feeding to feeding. You don't want to just stay on one side, because that other side is going to get extremely engorged if you do that. But sticking to one side per feeding is going to help the baby to get more of the hind milk, and that way it's going to help to digest the lactose that's in the milk, okay? So that the baby's going to feel better. And also, so main thing here is when I read this question, I'm thinking of the baby being 1.5 weeks old, which means you're probably right in the height of engorgement right now. Your milk has probably just come in a couple days ago, maybe a week ago, and you're probably very full. And so the baby's probably getting a lot of milk very quickly. And that's my, we call them happy spitters, okay? Those are babies that just spit up. They eat fine, they gain weight fine, they have no problem, except they're spitting up and you're constantly changing your clothes or changing theirs. And those are happy spitters, and that comes usually from an overabundance of milk, either from the beginning, like where you're at, where there's just a lot of milk supply there and the baby's just getting a lot with the engorgement. Or the baby may need to be burped more frequently. So I would say that making sure that, if the baby's drinking a lot and you are not burping during the feeding, take the baby off frequently and burp the baby. I'm going to do a whole video just on my technique for burping, because we have talked about this, that I don't pat the baby when I burp. Okay, we don't pat the baby, and I'm going to go over this in a whole separate video, but you want to take the baby off frequently, burp the baby, and look for signs that the baby's done, because overfeeding, just the milk's just pouring out. Okay, did you guys see the post I just put up with that statue? That's what you're probably doing right into your baby's mouth right now. Is the milk is just spraying right into the milk, into your baby's mouth. So spitting up right now just means that the baby can only stretch their stomach so much and no more, and whatever's left is coming up either from just volume or not burping. Okay, Rachel, I think you're doing fine. I would just say stick to one side per feeding. That will help to decrease your supply a little bit and get you more regulated quickly. All right, and also get the baby that Hindmilk. Excellent question. Excellent question. All right, so now next question on my wall here. This came from Shauna. Okay, and Shauna's, see, I get so distracted because I want to read what everybody's saying here. Here you go. Yeah. Okay. So Shauna said, I watched your video on suction and speed while pumping and learned a lot. Did you guys watch that this week? I did it again. Okay, I've been repeating it. We did it a couple weeks ago. I talked about how to adjust your speed and suction on your pump to get multiple letdowns, and then I went over it again this week. If you didn't see it and you want to watch it, just go back this week. And actually, I put that into the title of the video so that you would know which one it was. Okay, and she said that her son is almost 3 months old. She's been pumping while at work since her 6-week mark, and she was getting about 12 ounces a day, and starting this week, she's only getting 8 to 9 ounces a day. Is that normal? Okay, so obviously it's not great that your milk supply is dropping while you're at work, and if you need those 12 ounces while you're gone, then obviously 8 to 9 ounces is not a good thing if you're going to need 12 ounces to leave for the baby. That all depends on how long you're leaving your baby for, because some people leave a lot more milk than what they actually need to be leaving. So, but the fact is that, and I'm going to go by your question here, is the fact that you were pumping 12 ounces and now you're decreased to 8 to 9 ounces. What I would do is a couple things first. One is make sure that there's nothing going on with your pump, that your suction is working properly, that your pump is functioning well. It could be the simplest thing, like just the fact that you might need to change a membrane or a valve on your pump, and you're not getting the suction that you were, and therefore you're not getting the milk volume out that you were before. So you want to make sure that you're changing those valves and membranes frequently. They need to be replaced. They get worn out, okay? So make sure you do that. And then make sure that go back and watch the video. You said that you watched the video. If it's, I don't know what kind of pump you have. If you don't have adjustable speed and suction, you might struggle with getting those multiple letdowns. Now, letdown is a hormonal response, okay? The way that it works, it starts with stimulation of the breast, which then releases oxytocin in your brain. So releases oxytocin in your brain, which then goes back to the breast and contracts the muscles in the breast, so around the little duct, so that milk flows out. Okay, that's the only way to get the milk out, is those little muscles around the ducts need to contract, and that's from oxytocin. There are many ways. There are not just one way to get oxytocin to be released. The oxytocin is released from stimulation, like we discussed with the pump. So if you put the pump into letdown mode, that will stimulate your oxytocin release in your brain. But there are other ways to stimulate oxytocin, and that could be thinking of your baby. That could be relaxation techniques. That could be bringing a onesie that smells like your baby. Different emotional responses can cause you to let down as well. How many of you guys have experienced that, where you didn't stimulate your nipples, but you heard a baby crying, whether it was yours or somebody else's, and your milk let down? How many people have experienced that? Because I can say I have had that happen to me, okay? And so that right there shows you that I didn't do anything except hear a baby cry, and that triggered an emotional response that had me release oxytocin in my brain. Yes, in church, she said. Yes, in church. There you go, okay? There you go. So that right there just allowed my milk to let down, and so you didn't actually need. This is why. Okay, yeah, you've all had that experience. You know when that happened to me, when I had my first baby, I was still a midwife at the time. Some of you guys know I'm a midwife as well as a lactation consultant, and I was delivering babies back then. I had my practice, and I was busy. I had a really full practice, and my patients were like, that's nice that you had your baby, but you got to come deliver mine. So there was like hardly any time between having my baby and back in the hospital to deliver my patients' babies. And so I was back like maybe 3-4 weeks after the baby was born. I ran out to do a delivery, handed the baby to Joe, and I was out the door, and I delivered the baby. And then of course the baby, I had been away from my baby for a couple hours, and the baby came out and cried. And what happened? I let down, and there I was soaking wet in the delivery room, and we just all had a big laugh about it. And I went home. It was time for me to go at that point. It was time for me to go. But that was my experience with hearing a baby cry. Yeah, it's a true story. It's definitely a true story. Do you remember that?
I sure do.
Jerry remembers that. Jerry remembers that.
Feeding.
The drive-by feedings. Yeah, he used to drive to the hospital emergency room and pull in so I could run down and nurse the baby and then drive her back home again. That was commitment. Thank you, honey.
You too.
Thank you, honey. Yeah, it was my commitment too. We were both committed. It takes two. This is not a single thing. You need help. You definitely need help. All right, let's get on to your questions from tonight, okay? I think that was the only no, I have one more that I need to answer because this is from Wednesday, so we do need to answer it.
There's one going on right now.
Yes.
Someone asked, she said her mom recommended she use Pedialyte to help the baby not dehydrate. The baby's only 2 months old.
Okay.
When she's not home.
Okay.
And everybody's saying no.
So somebody asked the question about using Pedialyte because your mom's telling you to use Pedialyte to keep the baby hydrated. Is the baby like sick? I didn't see anything here. Okay.
No, it was just fear of
dehydration. Okay. First, let's just clear that up. No Pedialyte to keep the baby hydrated. No sugar water. No water. Your breastfed baby doesn't need anything. And in fact, your breast milk is like 98% water. Okay, it is all water, and so it is all your baby needs to stay hydrated. If you start giving the baby something else, the baby's not going to nurse as much. The baby needs breast milk, so you don't need water. Okay, even when the baby's sick and the baby just needs to be nursed more frequently, your breast milk will adjust if your baby's sick or dehydrated or anything like that. So you don't need anything. I don't know. That's a very old advice.
She also said, is it okay to feed on demand if the baby's constantly spitting up?
Yeah, it's okay to feed on demand. Yeah, right. It's definitely okay to. It's okay to feed on demand if the baby's spitting up. The baby may be just eating a lot more frequently than the baby needs to be eating. That could be it too. Sometimes babies just have a really strong sucking desire. It's a strong reflex, and it's something in a baby that it's a life-sustaining reflex. They want to suck, and so that could be what's going on. Okay, good. Yeah, your baby said your pediatrician told you not to give the baby. Don't give him any of that crap. Just nurse. Yeah, good advice. Good advice. Good. We agree. We agree on that. Yay! I like when the pediatricians agree. Okay. This one came from Liz. Liz said she has a little girl named Madison, is 5 days old, and since she was born, she's been a great nurser with a good latch. She's little at 6 pounds, 3 ounces. She noticed her milk coming in around day 3 and became fully engorged yesterday. So this is a brand new baby, okay? Since becoming engorged, her milk seems to be releasing too fast. She's having difficulty latching. She tried pumping a little, a half an ounce on each breast to release some of the engorgement, but she's nervous to continue in fear it will just make the issue worse. So she's saying if she pumps, will it make it worse? Since yesterday, she became fussy, gassy, and her poops sound a little explosive. I read that the foremilk may cause the gassiness, but not sure if it's related, and wanted to get your thoughts on 1, what can I do to release the engorgement and help her latch? And 2, help with her gassiness, fussiness. Thanks so much. Okay, so that's great. Couple things here. One is the baby's pretty brand new, and the engorgement. Engorgement is not just the fullness of milk in the breast. So the breast, obviously, after your milk comes in, somewhere around day 3, day 4, your milk comes in and your breasts are fuller. But what also happens is your breasts fill up with fluid as well that can cause, there's fluid that can get trapped under the areola around the nipple, and it flattens out the nipple, which can make it very difficult to latch the baby. That's what she's explaining. And should she pump out milk in order to make that better? That is a solution that you can do, but you're always running the risk that you start pumping a little bit, you're going to just keep making more. A quarter of an ounce or a half an ounce off the breast is probably not going to make a difference at that point, to just pump a little bit off to get the baby to latch. Another technique that you can use is sort of like a compression against the nipple. So you kind of put your fingers around the nipple and you press in on the tissue firmly to get the area around the nipple to kind of soften up. Just hold it with firm pressure. It'll soften up and then latch the baby, okay? And that kind of pressure against it will actually just get the tissue to kind of soften enough to be able to get the nipple to stick out a little bit and get a latch. All right, so that's another way that you can deal with the fact that, you know, the nipple might be flattened out. You could also go into the shower and just hand express a little bit as well. But that's really it. And then the fact that she's gassy and fussy, that's probably because you have so much milk that you're describing. So like we were saying before, when you have a lot of milk, there is a lot of foremilk, and that foremilk is very watery. It's low in fat. The milk is high in lactose, especially at that point. And so when the milk is high in lactose and low in fat, it's a little bit hard to digest. And so they will get gassy, and they can get poop that's kind of a green color, the explosive poops, like you're saying. And the explosive poops are kind of normal. That just means that she's getting a lot of milk. So that's actually a good thing. But what I would say is the same thing I said to the last question. Stick to one breast right now. Nurse on one breast per feeding. The next feeding, switch to the other side, and try to alternate breasts per feeding instead of doing both sides at each feeding. All right, but it sounds like you're doing fine. You got lots of milk. Just watch your baby's wet diapers. Wet diapers, poopy diapers, as long as they're wetting, 6 to 8 wet diapers in 24 hours, not much to worry about. Okay, now we can get on to your questions from tonight. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. All right, where am I? Okay, so your questions tonight. Okay, Amy posted a question. She said, how long does she have to take a lactation supplement before your supply regulates itself? That was a question that I didn't completely understand. I asked her for some more details, and what she said was she's been taking a supplement since her daughter was born, and she's over a year now, but still nursing. So my question to you, Amy, is why are you taking a supplement for your milk supply? I mean, I would assume that by now your milk has regulated to whatever it's going to regulate to. Your baby's a year old. I would just say that, probably the supplement's doing very little compared to just the expression of milk from the breast. So however frequently or however much milk your baby's eating is probably what you're producing, but you've been taking this lactation supplement for so long that you might not realize that it might not even make a difference. So I would try, if it's working for you, you can continue. I don't know what you're taking. I really don't know what you're taking from this question. But I would say that these lactation supplements, they do work. They work at good times when you need them, although, you might not need it. Sometimes that you might need it is when your milk supply is a little bit low. That could be like right before your period. When you have hormonal issues going on that could decrease supply slightly, that will actually help to increase supply. So, fenugreek, I like the tinctures. Okay, those work really good. There's also more milk. There's also Milkmaid tea from Earth Mama. Okay, that's not going to necessarily boost your supply greatly, but it will definitely help to maintain like a good adequate supply. And I would just drink it every day. So that's something that somebody could win, or you guys can go get. All right, but Milkmaid tea, love it. Tastes really good too. Okay, so that was Amy. Let's move on here. My gosh, you guys have so many questions here. Let's see.
I didn't drink that tea.
What?
I did not drink that tea.
You didn't drink that tea?
No.
Were you afraid you were going to make milk?
Yeah.
And I put you to work doing that too? That was my job. You're not getting that job, sorry. I don't think the baby would have liked your hairy chest anyway.
But to that point, there was a question about dads and how dads could help.
Okay, how dads can help?
Samantha.
Do you want to answer how dads can help?
You can read it. And then
Where is it? Okay. Okay, Samantha said, I need ways to help my husband connect with our 4-month-old. This is our second child. My husband feels like he can't bond with her because she's attached to my breast all the time. Help me. Note, I don't have a pump, so you can't feed her a bottle. I am going to let Joe answer that question because Joe was a dad. He's still a dad, was a dad. Joe is a dad, and he was a dad for 2 breastfed babies. So Daddy here can answer the question of how daddies can help.
Well, I'm getting a relay.
I shocked him with that. So go ahead. Yeah, he tells me which questions. Go ahead, Joe.
No problem.
You could do it.
Well, I don't know your husband, but there are many things a dad could do to both bond with the baby as well as partner with you. In terms of the baby, if he's never tried baby wearing, that's a very intimate way to connect with your baby. It's really good for a new baby to be skin to skin or in close proximity to the dad because, you know, the biorhythm and the connection and
temperature regulation
and just the closeness that you feel. It changes transforms the whole relationship you have with your child to hold your baby so close and feel like you're protected and bonding them.
Excellent. Yep.
And in terms of your partner, you know, whatever you can do to make it easier for your partner, whether it's related to the baby, getting her something that she needs, massaging her feet, you know, just reassuring her, cup of water, cooking dinner. So.
Well, and there's so many other things that you do with the baby too.
Sure.
Like that was, I love your answer. Like, I think what you just said was so perfect. Like baby wearing, you know, dads can wear babies, dads can do skin to skin. That's awesome bonding, that you can do with the baby. And that's going to be great, especially because it gives mom a little bit of a break too, and gives baby exactly what the baby needs. So, you know, if you're,
and I think you said it was the second child. So, you know, I mean, each dad's different. Some dads are like, they may initially relate to something like baby wearing, like it's not a manly thing to do, but I think it's actually a really manly thing to do. And
I do too.
You know, it just softens your connection and deepens it with your child. So,
yeah.
And if you can't afford an expensive one, there's all kinds of baby wraps and ones where you could borrow friends. It's not a big deal. It's not like borrowing a car seat or a breast pump. So
totally. Such a great answer.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you like his answer? I loved your answer. That was a great thing you could do for bonding.
And burping the baby.
And burping.
Watch Shari's video in a week or 2 weeks when
I mean, there's all the
it.
things. There's all the things you can do as far as burping. There's
Bathing,
really bathing, massaging the baby, right?
Yeah.
Just holding the baby, but wearing the baby in skin to skin. Yes.
All right.
That's my hubby. He knows. Okay, that was not planned. He's really good. He listens and he knows. And he was such a good daddy when they were little. And he's such a good daddy now. He gets up every morning with the girls and he makes them breakfast every day. And he's just the best daddy. He's the best daddy. Love him. So, okay. Yep. See, Samantha said she loved it. She'll do that with him too. Perfect. There you go. I knew that Joe would be able to give us the best answer for that. Okay. So let's see here. What else do we have? We have Shannon. Shannon asked, what do you do when one breast produces more than the other? Also, can antibiotics for mastitis affect your supply and make baby cranky? Okay, so first of all, you don't need 2 breasts to breastfeed, okay? Your breast is going... Almost everybody, I would say most people, have one breast that makes more than the other. Your body's not symmetrical. Your body, you know, one side can be the producer, one side could be less of a producer. It doesn't matter. You're still going to be able to make enough milk in most cases to feed your baby. And I saw somebody replied here saying that I had actually mentioned that I only nursed on one side with my first daughter, and that's true. That was very true. You're remembering what I said. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I nursed on one side with my first daughter. She just completely rejected the left side at like 4 months old, and I nursed her the whole rest of the time, over a year, on just one breast. That's how moms of twins. Breastfeed, and they're fine. Okay. So, and the thing that I would say here about the antibiotics is that I don't believe that the antibiotics are going to affect your milk supply. They can make your baby cranky for sure. It can upset their stomach. They can have some issues with the antibiotics for the time that they're taking them. But the mastitis itself can affect your supply. So breast infection, which is mastitis, or as Jamie likes to refer to it as the boob flu, the boob flu. Yeah, mastitis can decrease supply. So you want to be really careful, first of all, to try to prevent mastitis, which is a way, first thing is you're going to make sure that you're frequently emptying your breast. You're not letting yourself get really engorged. And then also if you have any kind of cracks in the nipple and you're not feeding frequently, that sets you up completely for bacteria to enter the breast. So you got to be very, very careful. Make sure your latch is good and make sure that you're dealing with any kind of cracks in the nipple and feeding frequently. If you get really, really full and you have mastitis, those two things, it can cause your supply to drop drastically. And severe mastitis can actually cause almost an irreversible decrease in your supply. It can really impact the breast tissue. So be very careful. Mastitis is nothing to joke around about. Okay, but yeah, I don't think the antibiotics are going to do that, but they can make your baby cranky. Not all mastitis, by the way, needs to be treated with antibiotics. Okay, so mastitis in itself is not necessarily a bacterial infection, although it can turn into one if it's untreated or if there's bacteria that's entered through a crack in the nipple. Mastitis is an inflammation of the breast from being engorged, from not emptying fully, from having a plugged duct that you haven't dealt with, where the breast is just backing up, okay? And that can cause inflammation of the breast. Typically, with mastitis and inflammation, you don't necessarily need to start the antibiotics right away. You could start doing measures like warm compresses, hot showers, breast massage, and frequent feeding or pumping, keeping the breast as empty as possible, draining that breast very frequently. And the warm compresses it will actually could help with a breast infection. If it goes on longer than 24 hours and it's not getting better, or you're starting to develop a fever over 101, because you could have a slight fever and still not need the antibiotics, but if it starts to go over 101 and you're sick for longer than 24 hours and it's getting worse and not better, then you need to see your doctor or midwife, and most likely you'll need antibiotics for that. Okay, because you don't want to play around. Okay, I'm going to answer Lorena's question right now. Lorena says she has IGT, okay, hypoplasia IGT, and can get 1 ounce from both breasts when she pumps. What can she do, if anything, to up her supply? Help, please. Okay, insufficient, what she's describing is IGT is insufficient glandular tissue. It's some people are just born with less glandular tissue in their breasts. And typically you'll be able to tell that just from the shape of your breasts. If your breasts are not really full, if your breasts are more of a cone shape, if there's a lot of space between your breasts, in the middle, then that can be a sign that you might have less glandular tissue in the breast. It's pretty uncommon and pretty rare. It's not as common as I think sometimes it's diagnosed as, because there's multiple reasons why people can have low milk supply. IGT is one of the reasons. Can you do anything about it? In some cases you can, okay? There are herbs that you can take. I know Mother Love makes a tincture with goat's rue in it. It's called More Milk Special Blend, okay? More Milk Special Blend. And the goat's rue can help to develop, it has goat's rue and it also has fenugreek in it, so it does both things. The goat's rue will help to stimulate those ducts and those glands to grow, to expand and grow, and then the fenugreek will help with milk production. So you can try that. In some cases, you just can't do more than what you're doing, okay? So if you're getting an ounce, first of all, that's great. If you're getting an ounce out and you're able to do that, you may need to supplement. Of course, this is something you need to do with an experienced lactation consultant, because to just assume that you have insufficient glandular tissue, it may not be that unless you've been diagnosed that way. And if you can't increase your supply, then you might have to supplement with formula as well, which is okay. And you'll do that, but at least you're still getting breast milk. My suggestion is, if you're nursing at the breast, to maybe supplement the baby with a supplemental nurser. Again, with your lactation consultant, that's a tube with the formula that will actually go to the breast, and then you can supplement while the baby's at the breast. You could also, look for donor milk too. Okay, the best thing you could do is to get donor breast milk if you're not making enough. But again, really make sure that's the actual diagnosis. There's multiple reasons. There's 3 different reasons why anyone would not make enough milk. Okay, there's 3 different reasons. The first reason is a hormonal reason. Okay, so you either have some kind of issue with your hormones. So it could be like PCOS, it could be that's polycystic ovarian syndrome, it could be hypothyroidism, whether it's something that you've had all along, or you maybe just recently developed and you don't even know about it. So something to check would be your thyroid. Go to the doctor and have your blood work done for your thyroid. Those are all hormonal issues. It could be if, say you just delivered. One of the reasons why sometimes moms don't get their milk in right away and they're bleeding really heavy is you could have a tiniest little nothing of the placenta or membranes of the placenta left inside after the delivery. And that little tiny piece will, one, cause your uterus not to contract fully, which is why you'll see a lot of bleeding. And it's secreting progesterone, which is inhibiting your prolactin to produce. And so that's what's making your milk supply not come in. Some people, if you're having heavy bleeding and you're having a delay in your milk coming in, that would be a question to ask is, do you think I have any retained placenta left inside? Okay, so you may want to bring that up to your doctor if that's you. All right, and they can check that with an ultrasound. So, and then once that is taken out, usually your milk fully comes in. All right, so that's the first thing, is it could be a hormonal issue. Second thing is what she asked, which is, something with the breast, whether it's IGT, you don't have enough glandular tissue, which is just, it's genetic, you're born that way. It could be breast reduction surgery where you've had a lot of the tissue removed, or you've had a cut around the nipple, or, something to cause your breasts not to function the way that they normally would. And then the third thing, and I would say 5% of all, and I wouldn't just say this, these are the statistics actually, 5% of all people who have milk supply issues fall into those 2 categories. So only 5%. The other 95% of people who have milk supply issues have nothing to do with hormones and have nothing to do with their breasts themselves, but have to do with getting off to the wrong start. So getting bad advice, not feeding frequently in those early days, not draining the breast, not latching properly. That's, or early introduction of formula or bottles that then the baby won't latch. That's 95% of the people who cannot make enough milk. So yes, there are small percentages of people who have hormonal issues, and that's something to consider. If you had trouble getting pregnant, okay, if you had fertility treatment, if you had trouble getting pregnant, that's something to think about, because that could cause issues. Whatever the issue was that caused you not to ovulate or to have difficulty with fertility could have the same issues when you're breastfeeding. That's not to say it will, but just be prepared for that so that you're on board with a good lactation consultant and that you're dealing with whatever those issues are ahead of time. Okay? Good. All right, so
I have to ask a question.
Joe has to ask a question. Yes, Joe.
Who showed up in pajamas tonight?
Oh, right. Yeah, well, I did. I'm wearing my pajamas. Joe wants to know who's wearing their pajamas. Yeah.
Is it a pajama party? Or is it just
it's a pajama
10 o'clock?
Well, it's a pajama party for me. I think that they're in their pajamas because most of them are home with their babies. They're either in their pajamas or they're just completely not wearing anything because they're breastfeeding. Which, yeah, that's your new pajamas, is topless. Yeah, I know that. Yes, they're in their pajamas. They're saying, yes, I did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And where are they from? How big is this party we got?
And you want to know where they're from? Okay.
Yeah, we got Jersey covered.
All right. So, yes. There we go. Joe wants to know, where are you guys from? Where are you guys from? And I'll look at the next question here while you do that. Let's see. Oh, my iPad shut off.
Oh, no.
That's all right. Okay. She's been in sweats all day. Sweats and nothing on top, right?
A little delay.
Sweats on nothing on top. All right. Texas. Okay.
Hey, Texas now.
Okay. let's go on to, here we go. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go.
Maryland, nice.
I
All right, Texas, Michigan, cool.
always love seeing where everybody's from.
Isn't that awesome?
It's really cool. Birmingham in your jammies. Awesome.
Alabama.
Uh-huh.
A lot of Texas.
How cool is it that we could sit here and do this with everybody all over the country?
Alaska's only 6:40.
It's only yeah. That's why I did 10 o'clock. I was trying to get it a little bit later for you guys tonight because I'm always the latest one. I'm over here in Jersey on the East Coast, and you guys are all, not all of you, North Carolina. Samantha, you're on my time zone. So, yeah, nursing PJs. Yeah.
Cool.
I still have nursing PJs. How horrible is that? Yeah, my kids are like 12 and 15, 14. Some things you just don't throw out. I don't know why. I love them. Some of them are really comfortable. So I still have them. Anyway,
you got one queued up?
I got one queued up. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Jillian said, how can I get my son, 3 weeks old, to go back to the breast 100%? He likes the instant gratification of the bottle. Yeah. Okay. So once the baby takes a bottle more than they're taking the breast, the baby could get really used to taking a bottle, which is why you have to be very careful about your early introduction of the bottle. Some people say don't introduce a bottle for weeks and weeks and weeks. I don't think that's a good idea either, because as many questions as I get like this about babies who, don't want to, I actually get more questions from moms who are trying to go back to work and they never gave their baby a bottle, or the baby's struggling and won't take a bottle and they're freaking out because they got to go to work in a couple days and the baby won't take a bottle, than I get about a baby who won't go back to the breast. But you got to be careful, okay? So if that is your case, like it is here for Jillian, the baby likes the instant gratification of the bottle. The best thing that you could do is, Jillian, is stop the bottle right now. Just stop the bottle. The baby's 3 weeks old. I would just keep putting the baby to breast. Lots of skin to skin, okay? Lots of skin to skin. Skin to skin is not just about bonding with the baby. It's not just about temperature regulation. It's not just about that. Skin to skin stimulates breastfeeding in the baby, and I mean latching to the breast, okay? So immediately after birth, skin to skin is going to help your milk supply. It's going to help your baby to latch. Your baby will actually find its way to the nipple and latch on their own. That's a conversation for a whole other night. But do you know that the baby can, if left alone and you go into a reclining position, put the baby on your chest, the baby will latch on its own. It will get there. I would say that just more skin to skin with the baby and no bottles right now. Okay. So, if the baby, and I'm assuming from this that the baby gets frustrated with the breast, but will still take the breast. I'm not sure what you're saying, because I think you asked me this question recently. I feel like I just answered this question to you just recently, and you said that the baby went back to the breast. Start right away, go back to the breast, skin to skin, latch the baby back to the breast, and just keep on going that way. The belly crawl is so cool to watch. It is so cool to watch. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to try to find a video. Maybe I'll post it on my Facebook. But the breast crawl is unbelievable. And so make sure that you are doing lots of skin to skin. Make sure that you're continuing to put the baby back on. And if you have to supplement, say the baby will not latch. First of all, you need to see somebody. So you got to get help with this. If the baby's not latching, like now's the time to do it. Don't let a lot of time go by. But if the baby is not latching and you had to do anything else like supplementing, pumping and giving the baby something else, not your breast, because the baby won't latch on, cup feeding, okay? So you can feed the baby with a cup, or finger feeding would be the first two things before giving the baby a bottle right now, okay? That's not to say that all breastfed babies can't take a bottle by 3 weeks. They can, some can, but if yours is struggling with going back to the breast, then I would definitely not do that anymore, okay? That would be my best answer right there, is quickly as possible, go find somebody who's going to help you to get the baby back on, and lots of skin to skin. Okay, next, should we do some more here? Should we do some more? All right, a couple more. Hi, Shari. I tried breastfeeding my first baby and was not so successful. His pediatrician felt he wasn't gaining weight fast enough. whatever that means. I don't know what that means. The lactation consultant I met with felt that he simply was not taking in enough milk. As a nervous new mom, I had no idea what I was doing, and at the suggestion of the doctor, supplemented formula. I'm due with my second in a few days, and I'd really like to try again. I wonder if I was really making enough milk or if just gave up too soon. Any suggestions on how to gauge how much milk I'm producing? Okay, how much milk you're producing has less to do with it than how much if your baby's getting adequately what your baby needs. Okay, so there's a lot of questions here, because the first thing is how much weight not gaining fast enough, at at what pace was the doctor even needing you to gain, the baby to gain? Typically, I like to see somewhere between 4 to 8 ounces per month 4 to 8 ounces per week on average. Okay, so that's an average. That means you're not weighing every single week. Okay, you're not weighing every single. Some weeks the baby's going to gain maybe only a few ounces, 2 ounces, 3 ounces. Other weeks the baby may gain 9 or 10 ounces. You want to wait over a period of time, watching the wet diapers, watching the poopy diapers, making sure the baby's hydrated, and not being so alarmist with the weight, because the baby grows in spurts. So I'm not really sure if that was the case here, and that may be the first thing to look at. The fact that the lactation consultant that you met with told you that the baby was not taking in enough milk, did they do weighed feeding? Sorry, I have like a hair on my face here sliding across my face and tickling me. Okay, so there you go. If the baby was not taking enough, the only way to know that was to do a weighed feeding. That means a special scale before the baby eats, and then weighing again after the baby's done eating, and then seeing how much the baby took in, and then was it within a normal amount of time, amount of ounces that the baby needed to take. I would say that I would really try to not judge this second pregnancy on the first one. I would try to start over fresh. I would try to really go into this with as much knowledge as possible. I'm not sure how you educated yourself the first time. Do you know about weight loss? Do you know about fluid loss that they have in the beginning? All those things are important. I would probably say to you, Laura, if you're expecting right now, I would get my Simply Breastfeeding program. Go on my website. It's sharicriso.com or mybabyexperts.com, and get the Simply Breastfeeding course. Watch that before your baby comes, because I think having that information is going to be critical for you to be able to know, is your baby getting enough, without just taking someone's word for it necessarily and giving up too soon. Sometimes the formula supplementation could be the thing that causes the issue that you didn't really need. That's not to say that every baby doesn't need to be supplemented. Some babies do, but I find it very rare. I just find it very rare and infrequent. It's done just too frequently, and then that causes more issues. So did anybody ever watch my Simply Breastfeeding program before they delivered? Has anybody watched it? Because I think that it gives you the information that you really do need beforehand. And I saw that somebody had asked that question, that she was a first-time mom. She's pregnant, Brandy. And I saw Brandy was on here. Brandy, you said, pregnant with your first, nervous about breastfeeding. Do nerves usually settle when baby arrives? Only if you have the knowledge and the information to feel secure and know that you've educated yourself. So again, Brandy, Simply Breastfeeding course, okay? Go to my website and watch that class. And if you could either go get the class, or you could, if you have an even flow pump, or you get an even flow pump, it comes free with the pump. So, everybody gets it for free with the pump. What? Yeah. Oh, Lenka watched the course. Yes.
She 4Heart loves it.
She 4Heart loves my Simply Breastfeeding class. It's really good class. It's really good. It was filmed a few years ago, and yes, you're there. Yeah, I did see you there before, Brandy. It's a really good class, and it was filmed in front of my live students. It's like me standing there teaching. It was me standing there teaching my live class. Lenka, you feel so much better after the class. I'm so happy. It does make you feel better. So like the nervousness that you're asking about, Brandy, there's nothing to do when people say, what do I do to prepare? to breastfeed, you don't prepare your breasts, you don't prepare any of that. You prepare yourself. You prepare yourself mentally. You prepare yourself, so that you have the knowledge. When you have the knowledge, you're gonna be able to say, no, that doesn't sound right to me, and you'll at least know something. Otherwise, you feel kind of scared. Of course you're going to feel scared. You're not going to know. And then you're going to have to take everybody's word for it who's standing there. And they might not have as much. I promise you, you watch that class, you will have more knowledge than most of the nurses that you're going to encounter. Unfortunately, you will have more knowledge than a lot of the pediatricians you will ever encounter. And I know that because I was a nurse and, don't get that much information, okay? What I teach is very, very, very simple, okay? And, going to just doing full internet searches and reading everything out there, that can help. The only problem with that is sometimes it's contradicting, and sometimes you just need one teacher who's going to teach you what to do, show you the way, and you're going to feel like that's the person I can keep coming back to. And because you guys are all here with me, I mean, look, we're all here together. I'm right here to ask questions, to follow up, and very soon we'll be starting and I'm talking like in the next 2 weeks, we're going to start our private group that I've been talking about for a while. Right, Joe?
Yep.
Okay, that's coming in like the next 2 weeks, and that's going to be for students who've taken the class, so we can have a private forum where we can talk about some of this stuff. But it's going to be great, and that way you have one person to learn from. It makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. Let's see. Anything else that we can go over here?
Somebody's begging you to.
Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't see it.
27th. Just tell her to copy and paste it. I think it's
Where
right
is
there.
it? Okay. This is Elena. All right.
That's not. She's telling you to go back. She doesn't understand your live streaming.
She's got questions here.
I know, but she's saying, can you go back to your wall to the 27th?
And find the question?
She could just copy and paste it.
Okay, if you could copy and paste your question, Elena, I will answer it for you. Let me see. And maybe I could find it. 27th?
Yeah, wait.
You got it?
This is it right here.
Oh,
she did.
Thank you, Joe.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. No, that's what I was just looking at. Oop. Okay. Never mind. All right. Let's see. Can you find it? I'm trying to find it for you, Elena. You need to copy and paste it so I can find it if you really want it answered. From the 27th. She's giving me work to do here. I don't know. I don't know if I can find it. I can't find it.
Here.
All right.
Don't move it.
Don't move it. Don't touch it, he said. Okay. Elena said, my son only gained 2 ounces in 1 month. He's 8 months old and they want me to supplement. Okay. He eats tons of solid foods, but I'm scared if I supplement now, he will wean himself and I'm not ready to give up nursing. What do I do? Okay. So, Elena, your son is 8 months old. You're breastfeeding.
She's current with you.
Okay, great. You're here. Excellent. I see you. Your son is breastfeeding. He only gained 2 ounces in 1 month. My question to you right now that I have you live, okay, does he look like he is reaching more milestones, developing normally, doing everything he's supposed to be doing? Is he said he eats tons of solid foods, okay? And is he nursing? How many times a day is he nursing right now? And I know there's a delay, so I'm going to wait for a second. Because sometimes, especially as the weight slows down as they get older and older. So like from 0 to 3 months, they gain a lot. Then from 3 to 6 months, they gain a lot, but not as much. And then from like 6 to 9 months, they gain less. And from 9 to 12 months, they gain even less. So their weight starts to drop off, the amount that they're gaining per month. So I don't know that supplementing is really, really necessary here in this case. If your baby is reaching all of his milestones, he's peeing, he's pooping, he's eating like you're saying, he's nursing frequently, he's growing, and did he get taller? Did he get longer? Okay, yes, he's crawling and trying to stand up. He nurses a lot every 3 hours and all night long Okay, so this idea that it's only 2 ounces, like who said that he needed to gain more? I don't understand that. My answer, without ever seeing your baby, but just from what you're telling me that he's doing great, does he have like chubby legs? Does he have fat on his body? Does he have fat or is he very lean? Like what kind of baby is he? He got longer, his head's growing. Okay. He acts not satisfied after nursing though. He's very cranky. Okay, Well, when you say he's very cranky, does that mean that you feel like you're not making enough, or are you saying that he's just cranky? Because he could just be cranky too. I'm going to wait for the answer here because typically I'm going to say to you that, yeah, he's 17 pounds and a pretty chunky baby. If he's got fat on his body, okay, if you see any rolls or any, like, where they have the little wrist rolls or the thigh rolls, I would say that there is no reason to supplement this baby. There is no reason to supplement this baby. What might be happening is your milk supply may be decreasing, and that's something you want to take a look at. If he's eating tons of solid food, he might not be as hungry for breast milk. It does not mean, though, yes, he's not getting enough, less than 3 ounces when they did a weighed feeding. Okay, 3 ounces is actually a normal feeding for a breastfed baby the entire year. Okay, so right off the bat, Elena, I know you need a new pediatrician, you're getting bad advice. No, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so a normal breastfeed, okay, so here's what I'm going to say to you, okay, a breastfed baby somewhere around 6 weeks to 3 months hits about 3 to 4 ounces per feeding. That's a normal amount, and it never gets bigger from there. So the feedings never grow from there. They stay at 3 to 4 ounces, okay? They stay at 3 to 4 ounces. So if you're 8-month-old, while he's eating tons of food, he's growing in length, he gained 2 ounces, he's chunky, and he's reaching all his milestones, and you did a weighed feeding and he's getting 3 ounces, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong. That's actually a normal amount. Okay?
Your pediatrician this book.
Your pediatrician needs some advice and some information and education. I know that what they're seeing, you need a new LC because she was the one who was worried. Yeah, you need a new LC. This is the problem, is that not everybody is the same with the same education and knowledge, unfortunately. 3 ounces is a perfect feeding. The baby's eating a lot of solid foods. If you have a question about how much the baby is drinking, if it's not enough and the baby's why don't you just offer the breast before you offer the solids? That way the baby's getting as much breast milk as possible, and then you can just feed with complementary foods in addition to that. If you fill the baby up with food, the baby may eat less frequently. The baby needs breast milk, still needs breast milk, but 3 ounces is a normal feeding, and 2 ounces of weight gain, I'd leave it alone. Why don't you wait till next month and see what happens? That would be my answer is, I hear you. I hear you're concerned about it. What we're going to do is go home, feed a lot, okay? And then bring the baby in a month and let's see what happens, because that weight is going to slow down, and so that's a very normal thing. Go, Shari. Yeah, I get really hot about this, okay? It gets me pissed. It gets me really pissed because, look, Elena, you're doing so awesome. You've been nursing your baby till he's 8 months old. How many people actually say that in this country?
You're not the problem.
You're not the problem. Yeah, Joe's saying you're not the problem. Neither is your baby. There is other problems here, okay? And you can see that. And so I do get very upset. It's the reason that I'm on here. Okay, this is the reason why we're sitting in bed with all of you tonight. Okay, we're here, relaxing, but what are we doing? We're sitting here educating you because why? Because look at this. It's ridiculous. You're doing great, and what you need is encouragement to keep on going and know that you're doing an awesome, awesome job. Okay, that you're doing an awesome job. Yeah, I love you too. Don't lose your mind over this. You're doing fantastic. You're doing so fantastic. Okay. I'm so happy. Fun? Yeah, they're getting confidence. They're feeling good about it. I want you guys to feel good. You're doing a good job. And sometimes we hit bumps in the road. Sometimes it can be a little challenging. It doesn't mean that, it's over or that you have to move on to something else or stop breastfeeding. It's not the answer. It's not usually the answer. And even when you have an issue where you maybe aren't making enough milk, maybe you have that genetic issue that we were talking about before, any breast milk is better than none at all. Okay, any breast milk. So it's always worth, that little bit, whatever you can do. And yeah. And so, yeah, Liz is saying here she had a pediatrician tell her that she needed to offer the baby food at 4 months because the baby wasn't gaining enough weight. I smiled and left and continued breastfeeding until he felt like he needed more. Good. Just leave at that. See, but that's because you had the knowledge. All right. So definitely make sure that you're knowledgeable. Coming to these live chats is going to I'm sure. Are you guys getting some knowledge that you didn't know before from listening to me talk? Am I like telling you things that you've never heard before? I hope so, because this is the whole point of us doing this. Okay. This is the whole point. And like I said, anyone who's taken my classes, please, if you haven't taken the class and you want to, go take the class, you know, either through getting the pump or buying the class through my website. And then please pay attention, because we're going to be announcing the private group coming up very, very soon. And I would love to see all you guys there with me. I'm going to check in there frequently. We'll be answering a lot of questions. I just really want to support you. If you're my student, if you've taken my class, I know we live far away, but with the beauty of the internet here, we don't have to be far away. I can help you guys the way I do with all my other clients. So, yes, you guys are awesome. You're all having fun. Joe just asked you if you're having fun. Yeah, he's typing over there. Okay, so I think it's time to say goodnight. It's been an hour, and sitting in bed has made me tired, but I'm very comfortable. What? Oh, good. Oh, yeah, I'm so glad. You feel empowered, confident, and proud of yourself. Wow. Okay, so now you've just made my night. Reading this from all you guys, this makes my night, because that's why we're doing this. Okay, I love you guys so much. You're all amazing. You're all fantastic. I couldn't think of spending time with anybody doing this other than you guys. It's like the best thing. So we're going to keep doing more of it. And now that I can just be in my pajamas, we may do this even more frequently, because this is how I spend most of my days, you know, working from home. I hardly get dressed. So
maybe not in the bedroom. Right?
not in bed.
It's a lot of people to share a bedroom with.
Just like, you're not doing this every night.
I love you all.
He doesn't want you here. He's like, no, not in the bedroom every night.
You gotta leave, but you just gotta go in a different room.
That's really funny. Okay, maybe not at night in the bedroom. All right, so love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Make sure.
When you're gonna be on with Jamie again.
Oh, when am I gonna be? I'm gonna be with Jamie again in Vegas. Okay, and that's like I think, okay, so watch for my announcements about Vegas, because we're going to be doing some great prizes. I'm going to be doing a lot of live streaming from the event with all the different vendors and prizes and all kinds of stuff. So you want to definitely watch for that. We get to Vegas. Joe and I fly in on the 17th.
Yeah.
ABC starts on the 18th of October, so it's just a couple weeks away. And we're there until the 23rd. And I think Jamie and I were talking about maybe doing Saturday night, like the 22nd, like right after the show's over. So I think it's October 22nd. We'll be together in Vegas in our hotel. We're staying in the same hotel. So we'll find a spot maybe in our room.
Make sure you click the follow button.
Yeah, make sure you guys click the follow button on my live streams here, so you're getting notifications when I go live. Because especially that week, we'll be doing a bunch of things leading up to that, to ABC. And then while we're in ABC, for sure, you guys want to make sure that you're getting the live streams, okay? And I'll be doing that with him, our regular Q&A, breastfeeding Q&A on the 22nd, I think. But I'll let you know, okay? Courtney, you missed this one? That's okay. It's going to be right here on my wall, and you'll be able to watch the replay and enjoy, okay? Love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Have a great weekend. And I'm sending you all big hugs and kisses. Mwah. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good night.